Hello, demigods, monsters, and gods alike. Welcome back to the Olympus Report. The Sun and the Star, a Nico D'Angelo adventure, is finally out, Half-Bloods, and I got to celebrate the release with none other than Rick Riordan. Here's the inside scoop from the Sun and the Star book tour. I was very fortunate enough to be able to attend the New York stop for the Sun and the Star book tour. But not only that, I was very fortunate enough to be able to snag front row seats. It was so cool to be able to see Rick Riordan, the creator of Percy Jackson, up close. I think at some points I even made eye contact with him. But if you'd like to see the full panel, I have it posted over here. But in this video, I'll be going over the important details and highlights from the panel. For attending, I got this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition book that comes with a poster of the monsters from the story in the back. It's even signed by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro, as well as an exclusive Camp Half-Blood drawstring bag that only the attendees of the New York stop got, since, New York City is the hometown of Percy Jackson. I also got a playbill, which has some really cool information in it, including a first draft of the map seen in the book drawn by none other than Mark Oshiro. It also has a smaller version of the poster of the monsters from the Barnes & Noble exclusive book. And this very cool t-shirt that says, "Embrace your demons." But like I said before, the coolest part of this experience was seeing Rick Riordan in person with his co-author, Mark Oshiro, who, by the fact, guys, is absolutely adorable and was actually a huge fan of Percy Jackson before he became an author for the Riordanverse. He talked a bit about how he prepared for the job, and this man knows his stuff. He's read the series multiple times and reread the whole series before auditioning for the part of writer, and even had color-coordinated sticky notes. If you're wondering why, for the first time ever, Rick brought on a new author to help him write a book, well, here's what he had to say.
So why Mark? Well, I mean, when I started thinking about writing a novel about Nico D'Angelo and Will Solis, I knew that that's something a lot of the readers wanted. It's something that I had kind of set up in the Trials of Apollo. I knew sort of what the story would be, but I really didn't feel like I was qualified to tell the story by myself of two young gay men and their journey together. I mean, I kind of felt like I needed to get an equal co-author, a great queer writer who could sort of bring depth and resonance to these characters that they deserve.
This just shows how much Rick truly cares about his characters and his fans, as he really wanted to get this book right, as this would be the first time we'd ever be hearing a story from Nico D'Angelo's POV. And trust me, Mark is definitely the right person for the job.
And again, 4 hours later, was done with it. I was on deadline at the time, had not written a word. 2 weeks later, all 14 books that were out had been read. I made it my whole personality.
Who is Nico D'Angelo?
My child.
I've only read 25% of the book so far, but trust me, Mark gets Nico. As he stated here,
I knew Nico inside. I mean, I could write Nico with my eyes closed. I did have my eyes open while I wrote this book.
So Nico is definitely in good hands. Rick then proceeded to talk about some of his upcoming projects, and oh boy, is there a lot to unpack here. First, we finally got an update on the Kane Chronicle films over at Netflix. Rick talked a bit about how he was hesitant to deal with Hollywood again, after, this. But Netflix assured him that he and Becky Riordan would be executive producers on the films and would be very much a part of the script writing process, so he decided to give it one more shot. In fact, Rick talked about how if Netflix hadn't approached him with a possible Kane Chronicles series, he would have never went to Disney about another Percy Jackson adaptation. So we actually have the Kane Chronicles to thank for Percy Jackson finally getting the adaptation it deserves. But jumping back to the Kane Chronicles, Rick has said that they've been through about 4 to 5 drafts of the script, which is typical. but announced that they finally have a final version, and if Netflix approves it, then the production of the Kane Chronicles can finally begin. We also got an update on the upcoming Heroes of Olympus graphic novels. As some of you may know, the graphic novels for the Heroes of Olympus stop at the Son of Neptune. But it was recently announced that the Mark of Athena will be getting a graphic novel adaptation come September. And Rick announced that the House of Hades and the Blood of Olympus also plan to get graphic novel adaptations. Rick then proceeded to talk about the very much anticipated new Percy Jackson book, The Chalice of the Gods. He spoke about how this is a true Percy Jackson book, which feels very much like the original 5. The Chalice of the Gods comes out on September 23rd. Rick then talked about another film adaptation that he has in the works at Disney, The Daughter of the Deep. He announced that he is actually in partnership writing the screenplay for the movie, and they handed in a final draft of the screenplay right before the Writers Guild of America went on strike. So hopefully The Daughter of the Deep won't be delayed too much in its production phase. But guys, the fact that the Writers Guild of America has gone on strike does mean that there's probably going to be a delay in Percy Jackson Season 2, unfortunately. But before we get to Season 2, let's talk a bit about Season 1. Rick then talked about what everyone wants to know, the Percy Jackson Disney Plus adaptation. Well, he didn't announce too much that we don't already know, unfortunately, but he did confirm that the show will be 8 episodes and will be premiering in 2024. He once again stated how talented our trio of Walker, Arian, and Leah are, and how they know how important this show is to us fans, and how they're doing their absolute best to make this something special. Rick then announced that he's seen early director's cuts of all 8 episodes, which means post-production is well on its way. So hopefully we can get a trailer pretty soon. But Rick said that his first reaction after seeing the series completed was a sigh of relief. Percy Jackson is finally getting the adaptation that we've wanted all these years. But that's pretty much all Rick Riordan talked about during the book tour. Again, if you want to see the full panel, you can check it out over there. But that's all I have for you for this update, Half-Blood. So until next time, I'm signing off. And until then, please remember to stay safe.